We're back in the saddle. Hope you had a great weekend. Hey, all gravity, any day above ground living. Hope you're having a fantastic start to your Tuesday. Wow, it's already almost the end of January. Man, that went quick. But that's good. That is good. Because it just means now the roller coaster is going to get a little bit faster. Once February hits, you know what that means. It's Black History Month. It's the unofficial kickoff to the end of the year. But if you saw the thumbnail and the title, I tell you, we thought it was bad in '05 with Bush because we knew he didn't know anything. We knew this. We knew he was a puppet. We knew this. He wasn't running the country like a lot of people thought he was. We knew it was Cheney and all of them. We knew this. But we also found it funny that he was trying to sound smart. We understood this. But here we are, over 20 years later, and now we're seeing it play again the same way. Bush's fan base was terrible. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Thank you. We knew how bad it was because the sycophants were defending the bullshit. And don't sit up there and say that they weren't, because they were. They were defending his bad decisions. They were defending his faux pas, his questionable decisions with world leaders. Everybody questioned him. And here we are 20 years later, and people have to question it again. You have 20 extra years of knowledge. You have smartphones, and you still insist because the person you like is in office tells you one thing, you have to believe it because you figured that they were right. People were telling you for a year, you might not know the economy the way you think you do, which is fine. There's intricacies in there that it's very, unless you study it, you're not going to understand it. But one thing you got to know is it's mostly the importer paying the tariff. That's how it works. But because it was Trump, they said that we were wrong. Well, what the whole world knew outside of your bubble just came out yesterday and confirmed everything, and also confirmed how dumb you are. Yes, the importing country pays the bulk of the tariffs, which goes down to the consumer. Basic. So all you showed was A, you are not smart. B, you're just loud for no reason. And C, you're just getting paid to lie to people. But you want to talk about the mainstream media. Okay. So Trump's ancestral homeland of Germany, one of their think tanks over there, decided to look at, for almost 2 years, the economy in the U.S. just to see if his tariff policies and Biden's were effective. And they came to the conclusion that Americans are paying nearly 96% of the cost of doing business when it comes to importing. And they based it off the rising prices. And it was bittersweet for them as well because, as we've chronicled on this channel, the Germans have been reducing their trade with us because of the high prices, especially in the automotive sector, especially in the steel sector. And this is something we told them that this was going to happen when he started running around putting insane tariff numbers on countries. But they didn't want to listen. Okay, fine. You don't want to listen? That's cool. You're going to find out later. And now they're finding out. And notice they're being very quiet because I was perusing X last night. I said, let me see what the temperature is. None of them sycophants are talking about that. I wonder why. Maybe you have to face your crowd and say you were wrong. I mean, that takes humility, but we know you. They're not humble people. They're worried about Greenland, who he has tariffs on. He put tariffs on snow. I don't care if you're going to tell me that you don't regret voting for that man. I don't care. I just want you to understand that you're paying the cost. And yes, I put Biden in him. I put him in the thumbnail and the title because this is his policy as well. Trump is just following it. I told y'all, the whole world moved on away from America for 4 years. They moved away. They don't need us anymore. All y'all that were running around telling me, oh, America, everybody has to do business with us. Everybody's dependent on us. Yeah, how's that working out? They're taking money out of here, but you worried about it. Your boy took that supposed tariff money that he's been getting, all them billions and billions, and he even said trillions, and gave it to Ukraine. How do you feel now? After y'all was yelling at Biden for 3 years over that. But I get why you had to lie. Again, you guys are getting paid to lie. You see an American company doing something and you think that's impressive. You don't even know what their cost was to do that. Oh, Ford is going to build all these factories here in America. Honda is going to build a factory in America. Hyundai too. Okay, where do they get the parts from? Right, Jason Smith. I'm glad you described yourself. But that's okay. You can stay and get educated. And the fact that y'all elected a businessman who understands somewhat how the economy works, especially tariffs, since he had to go get his steel or his buildings from overseas. The fact that he sat there and sold y'all that we're letting all these countries pay for these tariffs, so we don't have to pay nothing. Essentially, that was good. That was good. I have to give him that. That rust-colored tongue he got, boy. I mean, this is the same guy who sold y'all that pedophilia was good. Y'all ain't hear me though. He sold y'all pedophilia is good. But anyway, how y'all doing today? I always forget to ask that. 90s, nearly, it was like 95.8%. Get some. Bananas, oh, we paid on that. Flour, yeah, we paid on that. That was a big one when I looked it up. Flour, boy. Mm. Oh, by the way, flour finna go up in 2 months. I hope y'all ready. Spring is going to be fun. I'm going to call it the spring of depression because those prices are about to go crazy. Perfect timing for their bullshit RNC and the midterm. The whole world wants Trump out of office. I hope you understand that. They only tolerated him the first time around because he was destabilizing Europe. He was forcing Europe to deal with Asia. Now they want him out of office because it's nearly done. The plan to destabilize America is nearly complete. You go ahead and do that while we're doing. Rubber is about to go up. I start buying some rubber stock. Them tire prices finna go crazy in the springtime. But yet and still, MAGA's gonna sit up there and tell you that they know what they're talking about. Fam, they've actually used AI to try to dispute what that study said, and even AI was like, "Nah, they're correct." The importer almost all the time pays the tariff. Remember, the scumbag sat up there and said, "We're collecting so much." Now this is another way they tricked them. They said we were collecting so much customs duties. I was like, customs duties. Okay. So you think that means something. That's like saying we had record spending during Christmas because everything went up. But all right, MAGA, I'm gonna help you today because we know school was a burden for y'all. I'm gonna give you two scenarios just to help you highlight what I'm saying. And we're gonna make it easy. We'll go slow for you. If I buy 100 TVs, right, $100, do you think I'm gonna sell it in my store for $100? Come on now. I just imported into myself, pause, 100 TVs. So I have 100 TVs in stock, ready to go. I paid $100 wholesale per copy. You think I'm going to be benevolent enough to sell it to you for $100? Nope. So I still got to make a profit. I still got to keep it going. I might sell it to you at $199. That way, every two I get one free, meaning I get one back. I paid for one for every two. I may even go to $250 just so I can keep my business going and make my profit. Okay, fine. That was a little too hard for you. I understand. We'll go here. If you watch Scarface, put a 1 in the chat. You may know where I'm going with this. This is probably going to be the easiest economic lesson you'll ever learn. When Omar and Tony went to go negotiate for Frank Lopez with Sosa, and they were talking about bringing in 400 keys or 200, I forget. Sosa was ready to let it go for 7,000. When Tony said, "Why not Panama?" Because they understood the risk. Sosa told him what? That's going to cost you because there's more risk on my side now. I'll do it for 13.5. Tony tried to negotiate. Finally got it down to 10.5. So both can absorb the risk. Why did I bring that up? Trump is trying to sell y'all Panama. He's trying to sell you Panama while secretly trying to do mutual benefit and mutual risk. And the rest of the world ain't going for it. They're only interested in negotiating for Panama. And Trump knows he has no leverage. So he's going to accept it. But then he's going to lie to you and tell you that it's puro, that you're going to pay more because I'm getting over. Not realizing that he got psychologically played into negotiating for Panama. That's why he wanted the Panama Canal. Because if he would have gotten access to that, he could play that, but he'd be like, okay, now you want to sell to me 15% more, but I control where you bring the shit into. So now I'm gonna charge you to bring it in more. Now I made a profit off of it. That was the plan, and it didn't work because China owns it. And remember when I told y'all that Canada and Mexico were gonna bypass the U.S. and go do deals with China? What are you hearing now? Canada's doing a deal with China. Mexico is talking to China right now. And what is your influencer class saying? They're traitors. We don't need them. Okay. You don't need their cars. Okay. All right. You don't need their steel. You don't need their gas. Oh, okay. Now they pivoted over to, well, after we take Greenland, Canada's next. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because you think the world is going to sit there and watch you try to take over Canada. Oh, okay. I tell you, they're going hard for Greenland. They're backing up the Danish. They're backing up the Dutch. What makes you think they're going to stop there? Trump is a puppet. He's outlived his usefulness. I would not be surprised in the next 5 months something drops damning Trump that he has to leave office. It wouldn't surprise me. He sold y'all on that Epstein list, ain't got no list. He sold y'all on Liberation Day, got found unconstitutional. But he should have just done 10% across the board, extra 10 on BRICS members, and that whole block. We didn't have money hand over fist. Nah, he wanted to go play 3-digit games. Okay. Sure, Mike, you're a puppet too, because it's yours. You are. Only puppets write like that. That's why Pinocchio was dumb in that movie. But that's okay. Y'all's puppet is being exposed on the world stage. All them strings, if you look really deep with a magnifying glass, have different countries' flags in it. You figure out which one. Michael Shelton, it's okay that you're a puppet. You're a puppet follower. It's okay. It's all right. The Pied Piper led a lot. Look at you. You came in here because I said something bad about your man and you can't defend him. Go ahead. Defend why we should be paying all these tariffs. Defend it. Go ahead. This should be fun. Don't nobody else say that. I want to see him defend that we should be paying all the tariffs. Well, majority of the tariffs. Tell us why. Go ahead, puppet. I bet if I look at your strings, it's probably going to say MAGA on there. It's okay. Come on, puppet. And you probably a hand puppet too. And them hands just got finished molesting your daughter. But that's okay. Tell me why we should be paying them tariffs. Come on. This fool said we don't pay tariffs. I tell you, what I tell y'all, fam, that even if bots are bad, we don't pay tariffs? Oh, okay. Go ahead, prove it. That's not what I said. KJ, see? You see how y'all come in here emotional? Don't even listen. Did I say that? No, I didn't. I never said that we should put tariffs on people. I said, why did your president lie and say that all these countries are basically, we're paying nothing to have this stuff come in, even though we told y'all the stuff has been coming in and we've been paying more for it. So if you're going to tell us that lie, that would mean that your government is purposely allowing corporations to raise prices and not do nothing. But I figured that. Go ahead, Michael. Come on, prove it. Prove we don't pay tariffs. I tell you, see? There you go. KJ. Okay. Companies pay the tariffs, and then how they get the money back, sir? Or ma'am, or hey, we don't discriminate over there. How they get that money back? You think they're just paying the tariffs just to be nice? Just have stuff on the shelves? They don't care. Let me help you. They're on the stock market. That's where most of them make their money. I know, that's a dirty little secret the corporations don't tell you. They could give a shit if you buy your stuff. If you buy their stuff, they could care less. They'll make the money on the stock market. They'll send their lobbyists down to the Capitol and the White House if they're in trouble and get a nice little bailout. I'll try again. No, GDS, let them talk. I know you ain't got to prove nothing because I know, Michael, I know. You ain't got to prove me nothing. The AI you just used to look up to try to debunk me just said, nah, that motherfucker you talking to was correct. It's okay. You was ready to copy and paste that whole response, and then he said, didn't go the way you thought it was, huh? All right. And you should say, bless your daughter's heart, because she's going to need therapy for what you did to her. But that's okay. What do you mean, how are we paying it? See, he don't know how corporations work. We finna help him. Okay. The majority of a corporation's capital, yes, started with people buying their stuff. Then they converted it into digital money via the stock market, meaning getting people to buy into the stock to keep their value up so people will invest in them. They don't care if people don't buy stuff. They don't care. They'll make the money back on the stock market in the form of, let's see, we'll put out an initial public offering. Okay, we'll put out market data, and we've seen this during the housing crisis. We'll do some moves that will still market confidence and raise our price up. That way people think we're healthy. It's a whole system. It's rigged. Think of it like this. General Motors has not made a profit in 30 years and they're still alive. How's that possible? And people ain't buying Chevys like that. So how are they still in business? KJ, we don't produce in this country, so how the hell are they going to sit up there? How are we going to do that? We don't produce here. Okay, that's fine. Report them. I'm sure you can go on YouTube and report all them channels that show bloody scenes for movies. That's not even their content. Oops. But we know you won't do that because that's your guilty pleasure. It's all right, though. Report me. Correct. They do care. But all them companies you just listed, where are they also at? The stock market. Do you think Gillette cares? No. You know why? They have the New England Patriots, who is right now, I think, valued over $4 billion. They don't care. See how that works? You brought up Jaguar. Jaguar is a hit in Europe and Asia. They don't care about the U.S. You should look up one day, too, KJ, how many businesses Disney owns. You'd be shocked. They don't care. And before you tell me that Disney is losing money, yet they're able to put out movies and still make a profit, they still have 3 theme parks and still make money. I'd be careful talking about begging people to buy stuff. Wow. He said, wow, Michael Solman is stupid. Thank you. There you go. GM has military contracts. I'm glad somebody said that. So are they losing money? Yes. But they have a fallback. They make Humvees. Wrong, KJ. Why would the American government bring back factories here? Why would they do that? They're making more profit overseas. Why would they bring it back? KJ, they do make profit on the movies. Lord, I get it. You guys look at the box office numbers, you look at the production budget, and you think they didn't make money because of some skewed ratio that they have to make money. Guess what? Y'all said that about the Little Mermaid with Disney, and it made money. I don't take y'all serious when y'all tell me that Disney's been losing money on movies. I don't take y'all serious. Captain America literally made money, but y'all didn't want to see that because you saw some people review it and say they didn't like it or how quick it got to Disney Plus. The movie literally made money. All right. Stock price, people go to the movie theater, people buy the merch, Disney Plus, they literally made money. Warner Brothers made hella money enough for Paramount to try to come in and buy it. They made more than enough money to be enticing to Netflix so Netflix could acquire it. I need y'all to stop saying that for real. Nah, GDS, don't tell them that. Because you know what they're gonna say next? That's a kids movie. Oh, you mean what Disney's basis is on? Okay. Outside of the MCU, it's kids movies. All right. Not to mention the fact that I think Disney is going to help the dude who created Bluey make his movie. But okay, you're right. You're right. All right. Oh Lord, y'all making this too easy. Way too easy. We pay the tariff via the corporations raising prices, inflating the demand. Yes, tariffs cannot bring manufacturing back. I gotta tell them this again. Okay, let me help you, KJ. When Nixon made the initial deal for China to start doing business with us, he barely made them pay tariff because he needed to get the American economy going again because he was just coming into bad inflation. We're talking like unemployment was like over 20 something percent across the country. Inflation was like around 7. He had to bring that down. He gave China a sweetheart deal to create product and then didn't charge them to import it to us. And we've been paying for it ever since. The manufacturing is not coming back here. I've done many a live showing the evidence. These corporations, especially the American ones, do not, they said it's going to cost us too much to come back home. And if you think a Ford CEO going online talking about, oh, well, we already have a factory here, we're just going to make it 24 hours, is somehow bringing manufacturing back, y'all are missing it. Those F-150s or what that they were sitting there touting that there's a big demand for, did they tell you where the demand was for it? Bet you they didn't. The demand is in Asia. But okay. They're building nothing. You know what they're building? They're building 15-minute cities. I was wrong. They're building 15-minute cities. They're building an infrastructure that should have been built in the 90s. Yes, they're building data centers here and in the desert over there near Saudi Arabia. Trump is building the United States of Asia because that was supposed to be the plan. We're building nothing here. You had 4 presidents within the last 30 years that could have built Detroit back up, and not one of them did it. Sorry, 5 presidents. I got to add Clinton into that. 5 presidents. All that money. You had a president literally tell a black woman, I don't want your $55 million bid to fix Flint's water. which would have indirectly helped Detroit. He didn't want to do that. Detroit been begging for bailouts so they could revitalize their economy. No, they waited till corporations came in to build up the downtown area. Now they want to start trying to give them money. They don't want Detroit to succeed because if Detroit succeeds, you build back up a middle class. And what the number one characteristic of a middle class, you can't tell them nothing because they're creating. So, what would be the solution? I'm glad you asked that. The solution was very simple. Instead of sending money overseas and trying to kiss all these other countries' asses, why didn't he put that money into the supply chain and get it fixed so we could produce here? Because once we start producing here, it'll siphon off and it'll give other people incentives to move. Look and say, you know what? America's underbelly is starting to get back online. Cool. I might want to invest now. That's how you do it. He didn't want to do that because he sold out the supply chain to Asia. You've had the longshoremen, you've had the people at the ports, you've had the people in these factories tell you, we can't get these parts. We have to raise the rate. If you'd have just fixed the supply chain, boom, we could charge less. You think they want to charge more? While Amazon can buy up all these little small businesses and have them host on their site and get their little cut off of each transaction, but they're basically the chokehold. You think they wanted to do that? No, but now they're in the position to do it. He's sitting there worrying about big tech giving $1 trillion to the Middle East for what? You don't think we could have used $1 trillion to restart America's economy? But there you go. But then they want to call on us when they got to go bail out these banks. They want to call on us. Okay. All right. You let BlackRock take over. Yes, KJ. Why is Detroit getting better? Why is Detroit getting better? It's a very simple answer. Why is Detroit getting better? Just said. As much as they want to tell you that lie that Detroit was built by three corporations, it was also built by the people. They took that money they got from the factories and put it back in their community and built up the community. That's why everybody ran to Detroit. That's why everybody runs to Atlanta. Yes, the Olympics came down here, put a whole bunch of money in there, gave it to the people, and the people used it and infused it. Now they're trying to ruin that by bringing down fucking Google and Microsoft to extract. They ain't fooling nobody. Entire West Side community because they wanted that side of the world. So they had to raise rents and kicked out all those businesses. So all them people over there on the West Side are fucked now. Now they got to go move because there's nothing over there. They did that. They want to build a casino over there. Crime is not historically. Oh Lord. Crime is not historically low. It's not. Violent crime is at a 30-year low. Crime is not at a historic low. That's another lie they told. If crime was at a historic low, U.S. News and World Report would not be able to come out with a list of the 25 most dangerous cities if it's at a historic low. Don't do that. Please don't do that. More housing does nothing. Again, they sold you that lie. More housing does nothing. They already told you what the problem was. You let private equity firms buy up all the housing. Or did y'all forget that Trump said that? Like he telling you, here's the thing with MAGA. I'm not saying you MAGA KJ, but this is one about MAGA. That man's so dumb. He telling you both sides of the argument and y'all not picking it up. I don't understand that. He told y'all, yes, housing is it sucks because people can't afford it, but here it's these corporations buying up the homes. I can't have that. So he's telling you what the problem is, but he won't go do it. He went to the government for the solution. What the fuck? You went to the government for the solution that created the problem in the first place. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. But you know what? They got it. Yes, they did. And they let BlackRock and they let BlackRock get too big. But again, we have to take a little bit of that responsibility too, because we should have told Obama, no, we're not bailing them out. Let Chase fall. Let Wells Fargo fall. Let State Street fall. Let Bank of America fall. Let Merrill Lynch fall. But nah, we said we had to keep going. Okay. Now he's pissed off at Jamie Dimon. This is beautiful. The script is beautiful. Anyway, shout out Trump and Biden for fucking us up. Pre-COVID and post-COVID. Shout out to them. So hopefully you learned something. If you did a dumb job, if not, I try to be better next time. Tomorrow's gonna be busy. We gotta go laugh at black conservatives debating horribly. Do the Sambo Lorien Awards. I know I didn't promote it. I know that was on me. I was gonna wait till the end of January, but I figured I might just do it. I might actually move it. But yeah. The fall of the black conservative is accelerating and I like it. I like it a lot. Anyway, y'all take care, stay safe, and you know what to do when the agents of chaos come to mess up your existence.